Imagine waking up one morning and finding out that everything you thought you knew about our planet was slightly wrong. Not in a scary way, but in a, wait, that can't be real, can it, kind of way. That's what this video is about. 30 mind-blowing geography facts that sound fake, feel impossible, and completely defy logic. But every single one of them is real. Let's start at the edge of the world. Picture Antarctica. In your head, it's just the cold place at the bottom of the map, right? Now flip that idea on its head. Antarctica isn't just the coldest continent, it's also the driest and the windiest. This frozen white wasteland is technically a desert because deserts are defined by how little rain or snow they get, not by heat. In some parts of Antarctica, it hasn't rained or snowed in nearly 2 million years. The winds, they can scream past at around 200 kilometers per hour, the kind of speed you'd expect from a serious hurricane. Step outside at the wrong time and you're basically volunteering to get yeeted off the planet. And if you're thinking, how bad can the cold really be? Some regions of Antarctica are actually colder than the surface of Mars during certain seasons. Earth literally has a place more brutal than another planet. Now let's move from ice to rock, specifically mountains. You've probably grown up hearing that Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world, and that's kind of true, but not the full story. Everest is the tallest above sea level, sure. But when you talk about the tallest freestanding mountain, a totally different giant steals the spotlight. Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Kilimanjaro rises 5,895 meters, or 19,341 feet, straight up from the plains with no connected range, like someone just dropped a massive volcano into the middle of Africa in a video game map. It's totally freestanding, a lone titan against the sky. And here's the crazy part. It's a volcano with magma deep inside, just chilling, for now. It's currently dormant, but knowing there's a sleeping fire mountain standing alone above the clouds makes the landscape feel like something out of fantasy. Speaking of things that sound like they belong in fiction, imagine this. You're filling out an official form for a town, and where the name goes, someone writes no name as a placeholder. Now imagine that no one ever bothers to change it. That actually happened. There's a real place in Colorado, USA, called No Name. People literally live in a town where their address includes the words no name. It sounds like a glitch in the system, or a joke that went too far, but it made it onto maps, signs, and GPS. Now let's push geography to its extremes, north and south. If you traveled as far north as you reasonably can while still being in a capital city, you'd end up in Reykjavik, Iceland. It sits right near the Arctic Circle, yet people still walk to work, go to coffee shops, and live their everyday lives under some of the most dramatic skies on Earth. Go the other way, and you'll eventually hit Wellington, New Zealand, the world's southernmost capital. It sits at the bottom of New Zealand's North Island, basically the last major capital before that massive icy wall where Antarctica begins. But if you want to feel truly small, don't look at cities. Look up, at the moon. It looks giant in the night sky, especially on a clear full moon night. But your brain is lying to you. The moon's total surface area is about 38 million square kilometers. Asia, just one of Earth's continents, is bigger, around 44.5 million square kilometers. That means the entire moon could fit inside Asia with room to spare. The next time you see the moon hanging huge above the horizon, remember, there's a single continent on Earth with more real estate than that glowing rock in the sky. Now, swing your gaze back down to the hottest places on Earth, but keep your mind flexible because this one's a time travel twist. Today, the Sahara Desert is the largest hot desert on the planet. 9.2 million square kilometers of harsh, dry, scorching land. It's the kind of place you picture endless dunes, survival movies, and mirages. But thousands of years ago, the Sahara was not a desert at all. It was a tropical rainforest. Rivers, lakes, thick vegetation, hippos, crocodiles, dense jungle. Everything you'd expect from a lush green paradise. Over time, as Earth's climate shifted and rainfall patterns changed, that paradise slowly died, leaving behind the seemingly endless sand we know today. So if you ever see a photo of a traveler standing alone in the Sahara, remember, they're standing on the grave of an ancient rainforest. Speaking of rivers that refuse to behave the way you'd expect, Let's talk about the Amazon. Today, the Amazon River is famous for flowing eastward into the Atlantic Ocean, carrying more water than any other river on the planet. But millions of years ago, it used to flow in the opposite direction, westward toward the Pacific. Imagine your local river waking up one geological morning and deciding, you know what? I'm going the other way now. Of course, it didn't happen overnight. Tectonic plates shifted, mountain ranges rose, and over unimaginable timescales, the Amazon's flow reversed. The river literally changed its mind because the planet moved under it. You've heard the Great Wall is visible from space claim, but it's a myth. It's long, yes, but too narrow and blended into the landscape for astronauts to spot with the naked eye. The real eye-openers are on the ground. Saudi Arabia is a massive country with 0 natural rivers, while Bangladesh is laced with around 700 of them. And if that doesn't bend your mind, this will flip Mount Everest upside down and drop it into the ocean, and it still wouldn't reach the bottom of the Mariana Trench, where the pressure could crush you instantly. Look at a map of South America, and one country practically swallows the rest. Brazil. It covers about 47% of the continent and holds nearly half its people, turning it into a full-blown geographic superpower. Add the Amazon rainforest, the largest tropical forest on Earth, and the mighty Amazon River, and Brazil feels less like a country and more like a planet. Now jump to North America, where Lake Superior acts like a liquid state. It's about the size of South Carolina and holds roughly 10% of the world's fresh surface water. One lake, a literal global water vault. From lakes, let's jump into mountains, inside them. Norway, famous for its dramatic fjords and cliffs, decided to build a road tunnel that takes about 15 minutes to drive through, even though, functionally, it didn't absolutely need to. It's like building a massive piece of infrastructure just because the outside route was annoying. And Norway didn't stop there. It's also home to the Lærdal Tunnel, which stretches about 24.5 kilometers, making it the longest road tunnel in the world. The country looked at mountains and basically said, "We're going through, not around." Hidden right inside country names is a secret code, -stan. It comes from Persian and means land of. So Kazakhstan is land of the Kazakhs, Uzbekistan land of the Uzbeks, Afghanistan land of the Afghans, and Pakistan even translates to land of the pure. These names literally map identity onto geography. Now here's the plot twist. The world's most forested country by percentage isn't Brazil, it's tiny Suriname. About 97% of it is covered in trees. So from above it barely looks like it has cities at all, just one endless wild blanket of green. Asia doesn't just have big cities, it has mega cities on beast mode. Tokyo, Jakarta, Delhi and Manila together pack in about 129 million people, like cramming the populations of France and the UK into just 4 urban monsters. Tokyo alone feels like its own country, with endless neighborhoods and vending machines for almost everything. Now zoom out to the whole planet. Today, people live on average into their early 70s, but in 1950 it was only about 46. In just a few decades, better medicine, hygiene and food quietly handed humanity nearly 30 extra years of life. Indonesia is an island giant with about 17,500 islands. But Sweden quietly destroys it in sheer numbers, with roughly 267,000, mostly tiny, empty rocks. Indonesia wins on iconic beauty. Sweden wins on, wait what, stats. The world's youngest capital, Juba in South Sudan, is barely older than a teenager. And the Philippine Sea, it's so huge it's bigger than 2 Argentinas combined. Meanwhile, Greenland only looks continent-sized on distorted maps. In reality, it's the world's largest island, but still far smaller than Australia, which is about 3 times bigger and gets full continent status. Let's go microscopic again, this time with population. Manhattan, the crowded heart of New York City, has about 1.6 million residents packed into a relatively tiny island. That's more people than the entire population of 44 different countries. Nations like Bahrain, Estonia, or Fiji each have fewer people than this one dense chunk of urban land. Now jump back to the Pacific, but not for islands yet, for borders. Oceania has 14 countries, most of them island nations surrounded by water on all sides. But only one country in the whole region shares a land border with another country, Papua New Guinea. It shares the island of New Guinea with Indonesia. Every other country in Oceania, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and the rest, has no land neighbors at all. No border checkpoints by road, no drive into another country possibilities. Just water in every direction, from regions to raw population again. Africa has around 1.4 billion people, and a huge chunk of them live in a single country, Nigeria. With about 223 million people, Nigeria alone holds roughly 16% of Africa's population. That's like 1 out of every 6 Africans being Nigerian. And it's not slowing down. By 2050, projections suggest Nigeria could surpass the United States in population and become the 3rd most populous country in the world, behind only India and China. It's a demographic powerhouse that will heavily shape the future. Now for one of the most important skinny pieces of land on Earth, the Isthmus of Panama. An isthmus is a narrow strip of land that connects 2 larger landmasses, and Panama is the bridge between North and South America. It's the place where you can literally walk from one continent to another. At the same time, that same strip separates 2 massive bodies of water, the Pacific Ocean on one side and the Atlantic on the other. Humans then carved the famous Panama Canal through it, turning this natural land bridge into one of the most strategic shortcuts in global trade. On the other side of the coin are countries that have no coastline at all. There are 44 landlocked countries in the world, nations completely surrounded by land with no direct access to the ocean. They rely on their neighbors for ports and maritime trade. The biggest of these landlocked countries is Kazakhstan, covering about 2.7 million square kilometers. The desert that's colder than Mars, the sea bigger than 2 Argentinas, the island that outranks 44 countries in population, or the simple truth that we understand our moon better than our own oceans. Our planet is not just a blue dot in space, it's a puzzle, one that keeps surprising us every time we look a little closer.